Good evening, everybody. In the hotel in Sheffield. World Championship starts tomorrow morning. Just had all test results back, everyone negative. So looking forward to the biggest event in snooker starting tomorrow. I'm in the commentary box tomorrow morning at 10 for Ronnie and Mark Joyce, along with Dennis Taylor. And I'm doing the end of Ronnie's match tomorrow night with John Virgo. So yeah, can't wait. But what I thought I'd do, I've got the draw here. I thought I'd go through the draw and see if I can, give my opinion on who's going to win these first round matches. No doubt I'll get most of them wrong, but here we go. So start at the top. Ronnie O'Sullivan, number 1 seed, defending champion. Playing in Mark Joyce. I got to fancy Ronnie. I think what Ronnie does better than anyone, he beats the people that he's supposed to beat easily. I think the first round, the seeds are pretty vulnerable. Certainly more vulnerable in the first rounds than any other round. But Ronnie doesn't really fall into that category, I don't think. I fancy Ronnie to win comfortably tomorrow. Next match, Anthony McGill versus Ricky Walden. This is a really difficult one to pick. Ricky Walden a few years ago was in the top 16, was winning ranking tournaments. Anthony McGill is obviously last year got to the semi-final that match against Kyren Wilson. I've never seen anything like that at the end of that match, and probably will never see anything like that again. But I'm going to go McGill to win that match. I think he is. I think he likes the Crucible. I think he likes the big events. I think he likes the long frame matches. I'm going to go McGill to win that match. So that would mean a McGill O'Sullivan second round. Match 3, Ding Junhui, Stuart Bingham. Stuart Bingham, world champion, only 5-6 years ago, had to qualify. Dropped out at 16 against Ding Junhui. Arguably the tie of the round. Toughest one to pick. Very tough this one. I'm going to go Ding Junhui though. For what reason? I don't know. I think he's due a run in the World Championship. I still think his long game is weak compared to the other top players, but his scoring ability is as good as anybody. Next match, Steve Maguire, Jamie Jones. Have to admit, don't know a lot about Jamie Jones. Maguire is, when he's on his game, one of the best players in the world. So I'm going to go Maguire to beat Jamie Jones. John Higgins, Chan Ping Fei. If John Higgins brings the form to this World Championship that he brought when he won the Players' Championship, when he lost 4 frames winning that tournament, I mean, he could go all the way here if he repeats that form. Whether he can or not is obviously remains to be seen. So I'm going to go Higgins to beat Peng Fei. But as I say, all of these results, I mean, probably the majority I will go for the favourite, but they're vulnerable in the first round. And if the qualifiers can play well, put the seeds under pressure, then none of them want to go in the first round. Mark Williams, my old friend, my old cheat on the golf course, cheating off his handicap, shot 1 under the other day. Tries to say he's off 8 handicap, 1 under. He is playing Sam Craigie, who I haven't seen a lot of. Everyone tells me how talented he is. So it's going to be interesting to see that match. But I've got a sneaky suspicion Mark Williams will have a very good World Championship this year. So I'm going to go with Mark to win this match. Mark Allen against Liu Haoshan. Mark Allen's been very quiet since winning the Champion of Champions. So I'm going to go for probably my first upset of the first round. And I'm going to go against Mark Allen in this first round. That's my first upset of the first round. Selby against Maughlin. This is a very tough match. This is one that could go against the seed as well. Mark Selby last year losing the semi-final to Ronnie O'Sullivan. Ronnie O'Sullivan obviously, started playing these shots to kind of sort of spark himself into doing something, and then obviously had those 3 wonderful frames to win the match when Mark Selby looked certain to get into the final. I'm only going to go for Selby because I think I think he'll have a decent World Championship again. I still don't think he's back to his absolute best when he was world number 1 and winning these events at the Crucible, but I think he'll have just too much for Maughlin. But it could be 10-8, 10-9. It could be a very close one. Neil Robertson, Liang Wenbo. Well, Robertson is probably like the last 2 World Championships is coming into this event as the man in form. The way he took Ronnie O'Sullivan apart in that final at the Tour Championship was just some of the best snooker we've seen this season. So if he continues that, then it's going to be a comfortable victory. Liang Wenbo, again, former top 16 player, capable on his day, probably beating anyone, but don't think he'll have enough to cause Robertson any problems here. Jack Lazowski, Ali Carter. Now this is a very interesting one. I think Ali Carter might win this. I think this is another seed that could go down here. Jack Lazowski's obviously had the last sort of few months some great results, been to finals, lost them, and as I always say, is as talented as anyone on the circuit. But Ali Carter's got a tremendous all-round game, and I think if he plays well, I think he'll be too strong mentally and too strong tactically for Lazowski. So I'm going to go Carter to win this match. Barry Hawkins against my friend Matthew Selt, who I played golf with yesterday. Beat me as usual. I know he's my mate, and it might be predictable, but the way he came through qualifiers, 5-2 down, the way he won 6-5 and then 10-3 in his second match, I think lots of sports, especially individual sport, is all about momentum, and he's got momentum. And I know he's not got a great record on, TV tournaments, TV table tournaments. I think it'll be close, but I think Selt will win 10-7, 10-8. Kyren Wilson, Gary Wilson. Kyren Wilson, I think, will always be very consistent at this tournament. I just think he's got the game, and he's got the mental, I think, attitude needed to do well at the Crucible. So I think Kyren Wilson's going to beat Gary Wilson pretty comfortable, actually, 10-5, 10-6. Sean Murphy, Mark Davis. Sean Murphy, another one who's gone quiet this season, but has got pedigree here. Mark Davis, I haven't seen him at the final stage of a tournament for a long time, and for that reason only, I'm going to go Sean Murphy to win that match. Again, I know I haven't gone for many upsets, but more often than not, I'm wrong in these things. But that's who I fancy. This could be an upset. Yan Bingtao is the seed. Martin Gould is a qualifier. Could be an upset if Martin Gould plays the way he can play, but I think Yan Bingtao is another one that's got a great solid game for these long frame matches. He doesn't make many unforced errors and plays a pretty good percentage game. So I think Bingtao will come through this one. The Masters champion, again, he hasn't done much since, but I fancy he could have a strong world championship. David Gilbert, Chris Wakelin. David Gilbert, again, has been quiet lately. Another one that could be an upset. Not seen a lot of Chris Wakelin play, I have to say. I think it'll be another close match. Who will I go for? I think I'm going to favour the upset here. I think Wakelin might come through that match. And the last one, the world number 1, Judd Trump against Liam Highfield. I fancy Judd Trump to win this world championship quite strongly, actually. But if he's going to lose, he's going to lose in the first round, and that's when he doesn't play his best snooker. So Liam Highfield, if he can get a good start and put Judd Trump under pressure early, he can win this match. But I think if Judd Trump comes through it, I think he'll win the whole thing. So that's my predictions for the first rounds. Probably most of them wrong. Let me know what you think. Up early tomorrow for a 10 a.m. start. Ronnie O'Sullivan, defending champion. up against Mark Joyce. Looking forward to it. Live on BBC for 17 days. Enjoy, everyone. Good night.